Ladies and gentlemen, by way of MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, from the T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. As Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions and Triple G Promotions proudly present the main event of the evening, 12 rounds of boxing for the middleweight championship of the world. Sponsored by Tecate, the official beer of boxing. Hennessy, never stop, never settle. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Fred Loya Insurance, put Fred Loya in your corner. Interjet, Aerolínea Oficial del Box, the smart way to fly to Mexico. And Marvel Studios, Thor Ragnarok, in theaters everywhere, November 3rd. This bout sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Chairman Anthony A. Monell III, Executive Director Bob Bennett. The International Boxing Federation, President Darrell Peebles. The International Boxing Organization, President Ed Levine. The World Boxing Association, President Gilberto Jesus Mendoza. And the World Boxing Council, Mauricio Suleiman, President. The three judges at ringside, Adelaide Bird, Dave Moretti, Don Trella, and inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Kenny Bayless. And now, the officials are at ringside and they are ready. The fighters are in the ring and they are ready. Fight fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner with head trainer Edison Reynoso. Wearing blue with gold and officially weighing in at 160 pounds. His professional record, 49 victories, including 34 wins by knockout, only one defeat with one draw. He has been in 15 consecutive world title fights coming into the ring and captured 3 world championships. Damas y caballeros de Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, the two-time light middleweight world champion, the reigning, defending, ring, lineal middleweight champion of the world, Saul Canelo And across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner with his head trainer, Abel Sanchez, wearing khaki green and officially weighing in at 160 pounds. This Olympic medalist now has a perfect professional record of 37 fights, 37 victories, including 33 knockouts. His KO percentage, the greatest in middleweight championship history. From Karaganda, Kazakhstan, the reigning, defending, undefeated IBF, IBO, WBA, WBC, unified middleweight champion of the world, Gennady Gennadyovich Golovkin, a.k.a. Triple G.
Ring center, ring center. Back out of the way. Ready. Okay, gentlemen. Trucks are good on both sides. Like we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want to caution you to keep this fight clean at all times. Protect yourself at all times. And what I say, you must obey. Good luck. Touch them up, Brenda Suarte.
Very few fights can be called super fights. This is one of them. Two men with a legitimate claim to the championship, and now finally here to settle it in the ring. Should be fascinating. Canelo Alvarez in the blue trunks, Gennady Golovkin in the gray.
I think a reason why this fight took so long to make is because these two have sparred each other in Big Bear. They know what to expect, and they respect each other's power and speed and timing.
I think a part of it, too, was Team Canelo wanting to wait out Gennady Golovkin a little bit as this big destroyer at 160 got a little bit older.
Canelo also coming up out of 154 pounds. Fought Floyd Mayweather near that weight, the catch weight, and then became the junior middleweight champion of the world. He moves up. He looks full size. These guys look like legitimate middleweights at this point, as it is Golovkin is also, as Canelo tries with the right hand, Golovkin is also not a full-size middleweight. He kind of fits in between 154 and 160, don't you think, Sergio?
Yes, I do believe he's 5'10". 5'10". He has the right height as a middleweight, but I don't think he has the mass or the muscular and the torso.
He's just such a good boxer and so strong. He certainly can rise to the top, and he has done that at 160 pounds. Canelo is the man backing up at this moment. Triple G is the man who is used to moving forward. Stalking, menacing, accurate with his punches, also with outstanding defense. Canelo with the guard up, very good conventional boxer. Both men looking to establish their jab.
And Canelo may not be the most skilled fighter at 154 or 160, but he has beaten some of the most skilled fighters in and around that weight class, whether it's Erislandy Lara, Austin Trout, or his first middleweight title fight against Miguel Cotto.
Canelo is the man who beat the man. Lineal middleweight champion of the world. He beat Miguel Cotto. Cotto, the man who beat Sergio Martinez. Good combination there by Canelo as he tries it. Sergio Martinez beat Kelly Pavlik, who beat Jermaine Taylor, who beat Bernard Hopkins, who Chris Mannix, even you have to admit, was the middleweight champion of the world.
He was the middleweight champion. As far as lineal goes, I don't care.
I'll follow it back to Jack Dempsey in heavyweight if I have to.
Canelo just missed with the counter right uppercut that could have been very vicious, but he just missed.
Good combination by Canelo, and moves forward again behind the jab, throwing the right hand. As Canelo Alvarez eats a jab here, looking sharp in round number one. Another good jab.
Very sharp with the counter punches. Coming up short right now because both of them are really, really on point with their speed and their counters.
Both are methodical, Sergio, right? So you wonder how the rhythm will be established.
The rhythm depends what you like. I mean, Triple G came forward, but Canelo boxed really well.
He rises to this challenge against Alvarez. Round number two. Chris Mannix, how would you score round one?
Big round to Gennady Golovkin, a little more effective with the jab. Thought Alvarez landed some decent shots in the middle of the round, but Gennady controlled it.
Again, we'll give scores as we go through, recognizing that while we're playing the fight, we'll judge it perfectly.
Yeah, Golovkin is effective at backing up Canelo, but Canelo is boxing. He's moving more than normal because he has to get an angle on Golovkin. He can't just stay in front of him. He has the faster hands and maybe more explosive, but he has to respect Golovkin's power.
Golovkin able to get out of trouble there as Canelo is throwing jabs straight ahead. Very effective straight ahead fighter. With the jab straight out, you see both men throwing out the jab, and then a right hand follows. Kind of picture perfect by Canelo.
Both of them similar stature. They throw similar punches, only Canelo's a little bit more explosive. Came up short right there with the right hand. He has the faster hands. Canelo does.
See Canelo re-establishing, re-engaging. Jumps up on his toes, trying to get a rhythm. Difficult puzzle to solve. Golovkin's defense is outstanding. He's able to slip that last jab. He's able to get out of danger. See him back up and get away from shots. It's subtle, Sergio. We've seen a lot of Golovkin fights at this point, and it's subtle, but he is just a master in there of keeping the space exactly where he needs it to be.
It's very subtle, and notice how he just moved his chin a little bit to avoid the punch of Canelo. It reminds me of the great Julio Cesar Chavez when it looked like he would take a punch to the chin, but he rode with the power of the punch, and Golovkin does that excellently.
And he will roll with it. He'll also use the European style of just backing away. He'll slip shots inside. He'll let punches just fall short. That's something that you can do when you fight your whole life, and you have 300 to 400 amateur fights as well.
Both of them throwing similar punches. I mean, they really are similar in a lot of styles as far as combinations and the counter and the fight IQ. But right now, Golovkin has a little bit more success with coming forward and putting the pressure. And we know how much judges love pressure. Whether it's effective or not, Golovkin's coming forward.
Triple G with the jab, straight ahead. It is a tight jab. There's no tells in it. Comes right off the shoulder. It's fluid. It's short. And it does have power, and he's always ready to throw power shots if the opportunity presents itself. Final seconds of round number 2. Uppercut to the body by Canelo.
Love that counter uppercut by Canelo. He took it to the body instead of the chin. And Canelo's telling his corner that Golovkin doesn't punch, but yet he's the one moving and backing up. We'll see if that continues.
Round 3 here in Las Vegas. Brian Kenny with Sergio Mora and Chris Mannix, the middleweight championship of the world. Belts on the line include the IBF, WBA, and the WBC. Lineal as well. Good jab by Triple G. Canelo comes back and fires a right hand to the body.
You know, Gennady Golovkin is a great middleweight, but stylistically, he's a fit for Canelo Alvarez, who prefers to counterpunch more than come forward.
Love that body shot of Canelo right there. With excellent head movement, come back and duck to the body.
Canelo able to slip that jab and come back. He is throwing uppercuts, throwing straight right hands. Alvarez is aesthetically pleasing. Again, has a good explosive style. Comes back, right hand to the body, hook to the head. As Golovkin almost smiling, fully engaged in what's in front of him. Knows he has a real fight on his hands.
It's a back and forth battle. Both of them throwing similar punches. Jab, right hands, left hooks. They're both coming up short, countering. It's a very exciting fight.
This is a chess match with real power. Velocity, power, subtle skills, a wealth of experience on both sides.
And it's very subtle, Brian. You're right. They're inside doing so many things that I don't know if everyone's picking them up, but it's brilliant what they're doing in there.
Wow, underneath the hook, too. Just a beautiful weave. I don't use the word weave very often now in boxing, but that's Golovkin getting underneath the hook. And throws a hook back and lands on Canelo. Canelo tries with the hook, and then the jab.
Canelo not moving as much this round, moving his head, but not moving his feet, moving around the ring. He's catching Golovkin's shots now, looking for a counter, coming forward now.
These are one of these fights, and this is how you know it's a great fight. When someone asks you, hey, who's supposed to win? And you say, you know what? I don't know. We don't know who's supposed to win this fight. Dropping down low, Canelo tries the hook to the liver. Uppercut lands by Canelo.
Canelo is known as an explosive combination puncher, but with a counter puncher like Golovkin, who would punch in between the shots, you can't really throw 3, 4, 5 punch combinations if you're Canelo. You got to look for the right shot.
Golovkin with the right hand, always the aggressor, always moving forward.
That's how you know Canelo respects Golovkin, because he's not throwing combinations at him. He's trying to pick the right shot, 1 or 2 shots only.
Golovkin moving his head as he moves inside as well, able to slip jabs. And then lands a hook.
That hook landed on the shoulder. That's exactly what Abel Sanchez told and asked Golovkin to do. Throw the shots to the shoulder. That's where it's going to land.
War in Las Vegas, Brian Kenny, Chris Mannix, and Sergio Mora, the Latin Snake. Gennady Golovkin moving forward, pressing on Canelo Alvarez. The rounds are close. It's being fought at a brisk pace. And a good sharp jab from Alvarez.
And once again in that corner, Abel Sanchez asked Golovkin to punch at the shoulder. Don't look at the head. Right now, the head movement of Canelo has been really sharp right now. He's come back with sharp counters. Punch at the shoulder. Make sure you stop the target.
Good combinations by Canelo Alvarez and a body shot there. That scored. Now, back comes Triple G. Triple G with the hook to the body. High-level championship action. You see Golovkin able to step back and watch a jab fall a half-inch in front of his face. He is such a defensive master there. Canelo, not bad himself, able to slip away from those shots.
Canelo and Golovkin are throwing similar punches. It's like Canelo's fighting in front of a mirror right now, but right now Golovkin has been getting the better of it.
You wonder too, Sergio, if you're Canelo Alvarez and you watch Golovkin go 12 rounds against Daniel Jacobs, does the kind of boogeyman mystique come off Golovkin after a fight like that?
That's a great point, Chris, and yes, it does, because if Jacobs was known not to have a chin, and he got up from the canvas and fought the monster even harder. So look, we're seeing glimpses of that now. Canelo against the ropes, telling the monster, come on, bring it on.
Jacobs couldn't stand up to your power.
He did go down. Both of us put each other down, that's for sure. Thanks for bringing that up, Chris.
A rare act of kindness, Chris. Right hand and a hook from Golovkin. She presses in again. Canelo spending some time on the ropes and lived to tell about it.
He was on the ropes, but was Golovkin effective when he had Canelo on the ropes?
Nope.
That's the thing.
I don't think he was doing anything, Sergio.
Neither do I.
Pressing forward always. Alvarez, though, able to slip those shots. Right hand by Golovkin. Good sharp jab by Canelo. And a right hand. Yeah, the only difference you see between the two, really, because they're both kind of picture-perfect, straight-up, aesthetically pleasing traditional boxers, is that Canelo Alvarez just gets a little more oomph and fire on his shots. Loads up a little more, but throws them harder.
Not only that, BK, but we got to remember, this is a sport that's judged not only on effective aggression, but defense, too. So you got to give Canelo some credit for that, the defense and the head movement.
Won the round. The last two I've got question marks next to the initial.
Yeah, I've got it dead even, but certainly the last 2 rounds were tough to score. I think the key for Canelo Alvarez is, can he continue to move as much as you have to move to stay out of range from Gennady Golovkin?
You see in the background Bernard Hopkins, former middleweight champion of the world, as well as the Golden Boy, multi-division world champion, and this for the middleweight championship of the world, no doubt about that, 160 pounds. Canelo Alvarez beating Miguel Cotto in 2015. Gennady Golovkin beating everyone he has ever fought as a professional, earning his way with several belts and putting them all on the line here. Canelo again on the ropes. Golovkin lands with an uppercut, not much else. Canelo able to fight off the ropes.
Golovkin missing a lot and not listening to Abel Sanchez. Abel Sanchez wants him to gut Canelo in the torso, hit the body, because right now Canelo's moving his head really nicely.
That waistband is there, Sergio, isn't it?
And that's what's not going to move. So you got to hit down there. Forget about the head. Right now, concentrate on the body if you're Golovkin. Touch something, punch something.
It's been something of a theme in Golovkin's recent fights. David Lemieux, he was extremely effective with the body attack, less so against Daniel Jacobs, and less so again tonight.
Jacobs able to get on his feet, get on his toes quite a bit. Canelo is not that type of boxer. He's more prone to stand right in front of you, but he is extremely sturdy and very clever as well, moving his head. Good right hand there by Canelo, fires it off. Golovkin able to slip that off, but it still scores. It is rare to see Golovkin marked up in any fashion. His eyes, his face, he's rarely touched and rarely eats one flush. Both men exchange good right hands. Short, tight punches as well. Right hand again by Golovkin. Canelo says no, but it landed.
That's the biggest shot of the fight, and Canelo took it well. Took Golovkin's power really nicely there.
For Golovkin, though, to establish that he's landing is important. These guys need to win rounds.
Now he's jabbing downstairs. I like to see him throw body shots down there if you're Golovkin.
Both men totally engaged. As Canelo shakes his head, Golovkin shakes his head back and said, well, what about that? And how about this? Now Canelo fights off the ropes.
Not sure what kind of strategy it is for Canelo to fight off the ropes like this. He's not, there he goes out there, but he's not taking a ton of shots. The judge is going to look at that and see something different.
Yeah, in the previous round, Chris, you're right. He wasn't really taking any shots at all. But here now, Golovkin is scoring. And you're leaving that impression, if you're a judge, that, well, it was a dominant 15 seconds or so by Golovkin. Scoring blows or what win fights. Round here, middleweight championship of the world in Las Vegas. Canelo Alvarez out firing And Chris, as much as I say I try not to score these rounds, it looked like, and I even said Golovkin won that last round. Do you agree?
Yeah, 3 rounds to 2, 48-47 for Gennady Golovkin. I don't like this change in strategy for Canelo to fight more against the ropes, which we're seeing again right here.
I hear 2 chopping right hands by Golovkin just landed while Canelo was against the ropes again.
Firing back Canelo Alvarez, and there, a hook to the body off a right hand. Short and hard stuff from Canelo. Good jab as well. And Golovkin actually moves backward. Eats another jab from Canelo. And a hook.
This is where Eddie Reynoso, Canelo's trainer, wants to fight, in the middle of the ring. Do not back up against the ropes. Give your man a chance.
Outstanding controlled fury by both champions.
In the battle of the head movement and counter-punching, Canelo's looking really sharp, but I think the better punches are being landed by Golovkin. It's going to be tricky to score.
It is difficult to score. Both men are throwing lots of shots. Golovkin, if you watch a lot of his fights, you see it is difficult to even measure all of his shots that land and how hard they hit, because he's not loading up. Canelo is easier to kind of follow when he loads up, and well, that's not legal, of course. There's that. Jeff Fennick action, can't do that. But my point, Sergio, is Triple G can land, and you're not even sure until you see the other guy's head move or body move how hard that shot was.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell what's really effective, but if Golovkin is coming forward throwing punches like that, that's effective enough to win the rounds.
Canelo again backs up into the ropes, and Golovkin unable to do much and blocks those shots. Now moves forward, body shot lands, little uppercut. Kenny Bayless says bring it back upstairs. I don't think that one was low.
And shots like those are the effective ones. Even if you block them, you still feel it. Your elbow digs in your own rib. You feel those shots.
Alvarez fighting off the ropes. Moving Golovkin back, doesn't happen often.
Notice how Canelo's arms a little dropped after that body shot. Your arms get numb sometimes. If a punch lands at the right part of your forearm, it gets numb.
Sergio, do you sense a little lag in Canelo right here?
I do, and maybe it was that body shot. I'm telling you, body shots do that to you, and I noticed that Canelo's dropping his arms a little bit. So that earlier body shot, those shots to the body that looked like they were blocked, they were effective.
Golovkin picking up the pace here in round 6. He was able to do that against Danny J. I mentioned I've never really seen Golovkin marked up in any way. There is a little redness there on the right cheek. So Canelo Alvarez able to at least put his mark on the face of Triple G. Firing back with uppercuts. Golovkin coming back with a hard right hand and a jab. Missed with the right hand.
You know, to your point, Sergio, making Gennady Golovkin fight going backwards is easier said than done.
I was going to touch on that. He came out doing exactly what Eddie Reynoso wanted him to do, double and triple jabs. But once that stopped, Golovkin came back with the hard combinations.
There are some shades at this point in the fight. Not to the extent of, but what we saw against David Lemieux, where that jab got through and Lemieux was backing up. No, you know, Canelo's not taking the type of damage that Lemieux did, but he started to get hit pretty clean.
And for Canelo, it appears for him to win rounds and win this fight, he's got to put more energy into it. When he's energized, when he's throwing shots, again, I mentioned he throws the harder shots, he loads up a little bit more. The right hand by Golovkin and a jab as well. But if he is just boxing normally, just they're on the same level, Sergio, of energy, Golovkin is just much more effortless and scores much more often.
And it depends who you ask. It may look like Canelo is boxing, but in a way, Golovkin's coming forward, so judges might think that he's getting pushed back, not boxing back, he's getting pushed back, and you got to credit Golovkin for that. Because that's effective pressure.
Golovkin now jumps up, gets on his toes, and chases Canelo to the ropes again. Canelo takes a big gulp of air.
See, the thing about ring generalship, Ryan, is if you're comfortable backing up, right now it looks like Canelo's being forced back. That's the difference. Great jab there by Golovkin. Good counters by Canelo, but the jab has been key right here in Golovkin. Golovkin found a home for a power jab.
Canelo again on the ropes. Golovkin eyes him, measures him, and tries to corner him. Now he's got him there. Now he goes to work. Can he be effective this time?
Okay, Golovkin backed up slightly. He didn't want to smother his own shots. Very smart on Golovkin's part.
Golovkin is a methodical stalker. He's measured coming in. Takes his time.
And the thing about Golovkin's power is he doesn't smother his power. Great uppercut there by Canelo. But he doesn't smother his power. His power comes from technique.
Final seconds of the 7th round. And it has been close. But Triple G is making his mark. 1. This for supremacy at 160 pounds. Chris Mannix, how do you have it scored?
I think Gennady Golovkin's created a little bit of a cushion for himself at this point. 68-65 in favor of Golovkin. Interesting to hear Abel Sanchez say, don't give away those last 30 seconds. And I guess you have to be careful when a guy tries to steal a round.
Golovkin now in the first 30 seconds here being very effective. Backs Canelo Alvarez up immediately.
The jab has been very effective on Gennady Golovkin's part. It's a shotgun jab. It's been running nicely. And in close fights like this, where it's back and forth, a good, powerful jab like that could be the difference.
Chopping right hand by Canelo. Loading up, tried it again. It's a beautiful jab by Golovkin, straight up.
And those are the clean punches. Good body shots there by Canelo, but you remember the jab. Snap the head back.
It's a good point, Sergio, because a judge can only digest so much, can only process so much, and you have to come out with what you think, or who you think won that certain exchange.
They're judge-friendly. They're easy to see. It snaps the head back. Even though Canelo countered with 2 nice body shots, it's the jab that snapped Canelo's back that you remember.
And Golovkin does it again and then moves his own head to get out of harm's way. Can Canelo Alvarez reestablish his rhythm in this fight? Good body shot by Alvarez. Can he reclaim the energy in the middle of the ring?
So here's another thing that happened right there, Brian. It was a great body shot, but it was countered by an uppercut that also snapped Canelo's head back. So what did you like, the body shot or the clean head shot that snapped the head back?
Very inexact science. Again, you're scoring, trying to get a winner in all of these rounds. And I've maintained many times that, very difficult for any human being to accurately judge. You can go by some sort of fulcrum system, a plus-minus system, but it's very subjective. And oftentimes, the boxers themselves don't know who wins these rounds, especially at the highest level. And this is at the highest level. Lots of punches being thrown, all with a lot of subtle skill and a lot of bad intent.
I'll tell you what, I'd rather get hit with my head snapping back than invest it to the body, because those body shots linger. So for me, at least, a body shot is devastating.
Good uppercut there by Canelo, trying to stay off the ropes. But Canelo Alvarez is fighting a good part of this fight with his back on the ropes. Triple G pressing forward constantly. That is always a funny move. The little giddy up right there, right? Get on your horse. Giddy up. Canelo backing up. Triple G moving forward. Exchanging body shots. And look, Golovkin is not allowing Canelo to breathe.
They both exchanged body shots, but it was Golovkin coming forward that I think landed a little harder.
Round the championship distance. Brian Kenny, Sergio Mora, and Chris Mannix. This is Las Vegas middleweight championship of the world. Canelo Alvarez comes out firing out of the blue trunks and the gray trunks. That is Triple G, Gennady Golovkin.
And Brian, there's kind of a theme to some of these rounds. Canelo Alvarez comes out pretty fast early, takes the fight in the center of the ring, but as you get to about the 2-minute mark, that's when Golovkin starts to assert himself and Canelo starts fighting up the ropes.
In this case, it is Alvarez who comes out. Good uppercut by Triple G. Fires back with a hook. Golovkin says, bring it. Let's go. In the opening seconds there, it was Canelo, and that is a good uppercut and an outstanding combination by Alvarez. Action picking up now in round 9, and these rounds are close. And even so, Chris, look, I'm trying to just make notes to myself. I've got the last 4 going to Triple G, the previous 2 to Canelo, but I've got question marks on rounds 3 and 4. First 2 were slow. How do you have it?
Yeah, I've got it 78-74 in favor of Golovkin. I have been winning the last 5 rounds after losing 2 before that. I don't think they're all that close, Brian. I think Gennady has really asserted himself with that jab and landed the cleaner shots.
Well, I agree. Rounds 5 and 8, I've got clearly for Golovkin. And the judges are concentrating for the entire round.
That was a huge right hand by Canelo Alvarez there. Pushed Gennady Golovkin's head right back.
That's the biggest punch of the fight.
Golovkin marches back, though. Gets Canelo into the corner. Both fighters extremely durable, both with good chins. Left and a right by Canelo, straight up the middle. Now a hook, able to fight and get back into the center of the ring. It takes a lot of energy to get there. And Golovkin, Sergio, you can speak to this. When a man is constantly on your chest, what does that do to you?
I can see a little fatigue on Canelo's part now. He's dropping his arms, he's staying against the ropes, and his trainer told him not to be against the ropes. Golovkin throwing combinations. His punches look like they still have sting behind them. That pressure bust pipes, Brian, and that's exactly what's happening here. This is a good run by Golovkin.
Yeah, Golovkin is landing, and also if you see, when he gets up on his toes and he does a little dance toward Canelo, he is not allowing Canelo to breathe or even reset himself. He wants to be right in front of his man at all times. Body attack and a right hand punctuates it by Canelo. Some of those are blocked, but that's good work.
Canelo looking a little winded at the end of this round.
Right hand you just saw, even though Golovkin kind of rolled with it a little bit, didn't take that clean, it was the best and cleanest punch for Canelo Alvarez of the night.
Round 10 here at the T-Mobile Center in Las Vegas. Gennady Golovkin, Canelo Alvarez here, a super fight for the middleweight championship of the world. Canelo out firing early. Body shots, and then a right to the head. Canelo going to work.
Canelo's corner, his trainer Eddie Reynoso said, we need these last 3 rounds. I need them sharp, I need them powerful, combinations.
Canelo is working now. Excellent work by Alvarez. Countered jabs by Golovkin. And a right hand by Canelo. Now we've got a war. Still methodical, still within range, still well-paced, but both men are firing what they've got.
Both landing and missing the same punches. Whoever lands first.
Right hand by Golovkin landed.
Watch your heads, guys. Watch your heads.
Good pace on those jabs by Golovkin. He's got different speed with those jabs.
All that leather flying, but it comes down to the jab. The jab is the thing that's been landing for Golovkin and Canelo.
Canelo Alvarez is fighting like an A fighter for the first minute of every round and a C fighter for the last 2.
And that's the pressure that Golovkin's putting on you. It's his pressure, it's his mental pressure, the physical pressure, that it's hard to keep that up for 3 minutes.
You see the pressure being put on by Golovkin there, never letting more than a few feet of distance in front of Canelo Alvarez, constantly in his grill, moving him back.
With fighters like Golovkin, you can't just outfight them or outbox them. You're gonna have to show them a little bit of both. You gotta box them and fight them in the inside. You gotta get your respect and then get out.
Work out, work out, work out.
And now to what Chris Mannix just said, can Canelo Alvarez fight hard and effectively in the second half of this round? He was excellent in the first minute.
Well, to me, he looks a little winded. He's backing up. Golovkin has been backing him up most of the fight, but now he looks like he's being pushed back.
Kenny Bayless has done a fine job in this fight, moving in and out almost imperceptibly. Now these shots landing by Golovkin, counter right by Canelo.
Golovkin can't wait to come back. Beautiful body shots there by Canelo, but the point is, Canelo's he's not boxing anymore. He's being pushed back, and that's the difference.
He won it, but I gave it to him. 96-94 on my card in favor of Gennady Golovkin.
We go to round 11, middleweight championship of the world. Sharp right hand by Canelo Alvarez, who at the very least, look, these are difficult rounds to score, but at the very least, you can say he picked up the work rate and the energy in that round.
So he's being pushed back now. Even though Canelo's moving and boxing. He's being pushed back by punches by Golovkin. Golovkin just walking forward now.
This side. There you go. All right, here you go.
Another shot to the body, right on the waistband by Alvarez. Short jabs by Golovkin, and you see him doing the giddy up, getting after his man. And just as that little jump, Sergio, he never lets you just ease back and take a deep breath.
No, it's a mental pressure, a physical pressure, and that's exactly what you need to do against a guy like Canelo, a champion like Canelo, because he knows how to box, but he can push him back with that mental and physical pressure. It's a big deal there.
And Sergio, you know this, that there's a difference between following someone around the ring and cutting the ring off. And Gennady Golovkin is an expert at cutting the ring off.
Golovkin reminds you of Julio Cesar Chavez when it comes to that pressure and cutting the ring off. No one did it better than Chavez, and Golovkin does it just like that.
And Canelo has fought top boxers. We mentioned it earlier, guys like Austin Trout, Erislandy Lara, even an aging Shane Mosley. But he is used to imposing his will and eventually driving his man back. He is normally always the stronger man in the ring. This is a different story. This is a different animal in front of him tonight.
Big right hand landed by Canelo. Golovkin keeps coming forward.
Now Canelo back on the ropes again. He's able to slip those shots. Very good defensively. Takes a lot of effort, but he's able to bring it. Right hand by Golovkin, that caught him. Not flush, but it lands. So does that jab. All these shots matter in these close rounds.
When you're fighting a fighter, a champion like Golovkin, there's nowhere to hide. You're forced to fight back. And Canelo, he's moving nicely, but he's not fighting back as much as Golovkin. A counter shot in between, but it's enough to still get these rounds.
Side uppercut from Golovkin and a hook.
Canelo took that uppercut nicely there because that would have hurt a lot of fighters, that sharp uppercut that landed right on the chin.
You could say that both ways, right, Sergio?
Absolutely.
Of Gennady Golovkin, there were a couple of swing rounds there, but Golovkin has done enough to win this fight in my card.
Who'd you give the 11th round to?
I gave it to Golovkin. I thought he did enough towards the end of that round. The counter-punching for Canelo was effective, but not enough of this. Middle of the ring, trading, landing clean shots. It starts for Canelo early, but it fades late.
There we go. We saw beautiful combination work there by Canelo Alvarez early. And right, his punches are more obvious. He loads up, throws them with conviction. When they land, they're very impressive. And looks to land again. And this fight could be, look, Chris, I think you're doing a good job scoring it. I've got it 6-5 unofficially. That means this could swing it. It's a close fight. Good jab work there. Right hands, and now very good work by Canelo.
And it started with body shots in the inside by Canelo, and then that landed the headshots up top.
Golovkin still moving forward, but he ate a lot of shots. Scoring blows, again by Canelo Alvarez. Golovkin marches back. Now he's throwing. He looks to answer everything. Both fighters exhausted.
Now, Golovkin fighting like a man who believes the outcome of this fight is in doubt, and the advice he got from Abel Sanchez suggests Sanchez could feel the same way.
I mean, you have to feel that way. You know, we're watching it. We're watching it with a great deal of scrutiny. We're watching it with an eye on the judges, trying to be, thoughtful in our approach, given that judges, how could they possibly score it one way or another? And this could be either way.
And you have to remember, too, Golovkin is the unified champion at 160 pounds, but Canelo is the A side in this fight, and that matters in situations like this.
Step back, watch your hands, watch your hands.
The fight also looks different from ringside. When we're scoring a fight ringside, when we're calling it, judges are there in that prominent position right in the middle of the ring. You have a much better view. You can see the reaction of the fighter when they get hit. Frequently that happens, and it's very subjective. It's very difficult. We've had a whale of a fight. That's not in question. Outstanding bout for the middleweight title. Canelo with the body shot again. Established himself early in this round with a superior work rate. Can he maintain it and win this round? And could that be enough to swing it?
An intense, high-octane fight, but it's been kept clean. And Kenny Bayless hasn't really had to be involved that much no more. These are two champions, two professionals fighting like that.
Golovkin will need more here to win this round. Canelo fighting to the final bell. Triple G comes back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards after 12 rounds of boxing. Adelaide Bird scores it 118 to 110 for Canelo. Dave Moretti scores it 115-113 for Triple G. And Don Trella scores it 114-114, a three-way split. This is officially a draw.
Well, there is a stunning outcome. And a draw almost always gets booed. It shouldn't be that way, but it is disappointing on both sides. But you have a wide range of scoring there, from 6 rounds to 6, which I can see, to 10 rounds to 2 for Canelo Alvarez. That seems ludicrous, fellas.
A draw is not a terrible outcome in a fight like this. My scorecard echoed Dave Moretti's scorecard, 115-113. There is no way you can watch this fight and see 10 rounds for Canelo Alvarez. That scorecard submitted by Adelaide Bird is one of the biggest embarrassments that I've seen.
It's difficult to fathom, even with a bunch of close rounds. Sergio?
Triple G never stood a chance against Adelaide Bird. 118-110 is just ridiculous.
Agreed there, Sergio. Canelo Alvarez goes to 49-1-2, and the first blemish on Triple G's record, 37-0-1. Still an outstanding fight at the highest level for the middleweight championship of the world. Even with the disappointing result, the fight was not disappointing at all. I'm Brian Kenning for Sergio Mora and Chris Mannix. We hope you enjoyed it. We say goodnight from Las Vegas.